I think 2024 is AEW's best year when it comes to their pay-per-views. The hot streak that they're on this year is incredible. From Revolution being a classic show, one of the greatest pay-per-views I've seen. To this day, as of right now, it's the best pay-per-view of 2024, the retirement of Sting. Better than WrestleMania, in my opinion. And WrestleMania was awesome. So was Dynasty. So was Double or Nothing. So was Forbidden Door. And especially All In. All In is up there as one of their best shows, period. Period. In their top 10. And guess what? So was All Out. Despite the fact that All Out was merely 2 weeks after All In, not favorable, and I hope they get rid of that BS, these pay-per-views being this close together, if they get this deal done with Warner Brothers Discovery and they get on Max, we're good. But until then, the idea of paying $50 back-to-back is not favorable, and I hope they get rid of that. As in, they either spread out their pay-per-views more, or they drop All Out. Either way, it's just not a good thing to have. Whether it's a week away or 2 weeks away, it's just bad overall. But for some reason, somehow, they still managed to pull out a great, excellent pay-per-view. They don't miss. Hopefully, knock on wood, that stays where it is. It stays consistent. It stays that way. But they don't miss when it comes to pay-per-views. Unfortunately, as we all know, less people watch their pay-per-views than they do the weekly shows. Their weekly shows are their advertisement for the pay-per-views. So you could have the greatest pay-per-views in the world, but if you can't make people care enough to watch them, what's the point? And that's the issue with AEW. It's an issue we've all seen. We all know about. Some people just refuse to come out and just say it. As great as AEW's pay-per-views are, their weekly shows do not hit the mark. I almost said their weekly shows are garbage. I'm not going to go that far, but I'm close to saying it. For the most part, when you look through, especially this year in 2024, it's undeniable. The quality between their pay-per-views and their weekly shows are astronomical. It's embarrassing how AEW cannot follow up on these shows. You give us some of the best shows on pay-per-view, and then the weekly shows, and I'm not just talking about Dynamite, I'm talking about Rampage and Collision. I've gotten to the point that I can't even watch. I can't watch Rampage and Collision. I just turn it off because it's so nonsensical. It makes no sense, and everything done on these shows are so haphazard and random and wacky. It's ridiculous. I haven't even bothered to watch Ring of Honor. I'm not going to even try. And now I'm seeing rumors that they want to bring in a fourth show? 4 shows? Tony, you can't run 3 shows. I'm hoping that one of those get dropped. If rumors are true, and AEW is making a deal, they work out a relationship with Fox to do another show called AEW Shockwave. They did trademark that name. I hope that means Rampage and or Collision's getting dropped. Quite frankly, 3 shows is too much as it is. 4 shows is impossible. 2 solid 2-hour shows, fine. Maybe one's an hour, the other is 2 hours. Whatever you want to do, please don't do 4 shows. Because you can't handle the 3 shows you have now. Tony Khan is stretched thin. Really thin. When it comes to booking these shows. How do you sit through watching Dynamite, Rampage, and Collision week after week after week after week? How do you do that? I'm pretty sure the wrestling is good, but in terms of logical, sensical storytelling, like you literally have to turn off your brain. Your brain has to be just numb to watch. What is that? 1 hour of Rampage, 2 hours of Collision, 2 hours of Dynamite, 5 hours of AEW television each week. And that is excluding Ring of Honor. I couldn't. Why is it that these weekly shows don't work, though? I can't, for the life of me, understand how you can give me top quality, beyond amazing pay-per-views and then turn around to give me lackluster abysmal weekly shows. Can I give you some examples of what I'm talking about? Because this past week's Dynamite was a great example of why these weekly shows don't match up to the pay-per-views. And the crazy thing is, this past week's Dynamite isn't one of their worst shows. It was just weird and odd. The only thing that has my interest right now is what they're doing with Jon Moxley, Claudio, Pac, Marina Shafir, and whatever this mysterious higher power is, because it's clearly setting up Shane McMahon coming in. I will be surprised if this doesn't lead to Shane McMahon coming in. It would be an absolute bust as well. They're coming in saying, this is not your company anymore, we're here to take over. And it's so much more well done than what they were doing with Okada and the Young Bucks and everyone else involved with the New Elite. That was so stupid. It didn't work. You can say you liked Jack Perry attacking Tony Khan. I didn't, but I can understand what they were going for. And if it was good for building an audience and creating new buzz for AEW, but I didn't like it, I would be okay with that. Not only did I not like it, it didn't do anything for anybody. It was a bust. So here they go again, doing another takeover storyline. This one has a lot more substance. This one feels like it's going to go somewhere. And it has the right people. We have people who are disgruntled. We have wrestlers who are disgruntled, who feel like they're not being used properly, who aren't being respected by AEW. Jon Moxley kind of tiptoes around that. We'll see what he can do with it. But Pac, 100%. Claudio, 100%. Marina Shafir, oh my goodness. I get them. So I'm interested to see what they do here. It just doesn't make any sense to me that Darby Allin, who earned a shot for the world title, was going to fight Bryan Danielson at Grand Slam, was then told, hey Darby, Bryan's not going to be at Grand Slam because he was attacked by Jon Moxley. So you can't fight for the world title. But you can fight Jon Moxley. And then you'll be putting that opportunity for the world title on the line against Jon Moxley. Weird decision, but if you're trying to sell Bryan Danielson getting attacked, I get it. Not even 20 minutes after that, here comes Nigel McGuinness, who then challenges Bryan Danielson to a match at Grand Slam and gets it. What? What? Well, what was the point? Why did you make Darby Allin give up his world title match because Bryan's hurt, to then say, well, Bryan's not really hurt, he'll be fighting Nigel McGuinness? Yes, Nigel versus Bryan is a great match, and before Bryan retires, he should do that match. This is not how you do it. This made literally no sense. That is just horrible, backwards ass booking. Anybody that saw that said the exact same thing I said. That makes no sense. You just took a title opportunity away from Darby for no reason. None whatsoever. And yes, I do think Jon Moxley will beat Darby Allin, and will probably beat Bryan for that world title at, what, Wrestle Dream? Great. Now we can do Darby versus Jon Moxley down the line. But this made no sense. This is what I'm talking about. These weekly shows have no long-term logical storytelling to it whatsoever. It's just random shit happening. And that's been the case throughout the entire year. And it's sad, because there have been some good shows here in 2024. There was a string of good shows after Forbidden Door. I was thinking they figured it out. They didn't, because clearly, when August hit, Tony forgot how to book. I mean, the same thing happened after Revolution. Revolution, there was a great string of shows where I thought, man, everything is making sense. Storylines are connecting. We're building very nicely to AEW Dynasty. Man, it's going to be a great summer. And then they had to play that dumb CM Punk footage. And it's like they never recovered. AEW builds goodwill with their audience through these pay-per-views and always kills it with their weekly shows, not making a lick of sense. All it is just Tony going into, what's that game called? AEW Fight Forever? Pushing random, and we get random matches. Tony changes his mind. I won't say as much as Vince McMahon, but it's getting there. Clearly, he wanted Darby Allin to fight for that world title and said, never mind, I'm going to do Nigel and Bryan. Dude, you got to finish your stories. You got to stay consistent. This is how you kill viewers. You wonder why people stop caring about your weekly shows. I'm sorry, AEW needs to do better with their weekly shows in terms of stories logical storytelling, and things making sense if you want people to care about you and watch. And as someone that is invested in AEW's future, that wants them to do better, this is a legit criticism that everybody should be talking about. These weekly shows are not good. They're not good. Are they the worst shows I've ever seen? Are they as bad as Raw from 2019 or Raw in 2009? Not yet, but they're getting there. I would hate for them to get there before they actually make some changes. This is not good, y'all. More people need to be speaking out about how horrible these shows are.